Good morning, everybody. I wanted to share some information with you. I've had several questions come in from some new AgencyPro members who wanted to know where to start. And I want to give everybody my thoughts on this, even if you've already selected a path. You've got your niche figured out, you know you're going to do hybrid or services only or SaaS only. It really bears discussion because pivoting is so simple with our program that it's good to keep all of this stuff in mind. So if you're recognizing some of the patterns that I'm going to be discussing, you might want to think about either pivoting or applying the pedal down this road a little faster than you are down this other road. Who knows? Watch and learn. I'm going to share a coffee with you as well. It's morning time over here in California. So let's talk, okay? So what I'm thinking is, and I'm going to save the best for last, because at the end I'm going to tell you what I wholeheartedly believe should be what you choose to do. And it's almost in any case. I don't really care what your resources, background, or objectives are. I really have a way that I believe you should start this business, and not just start it, but the whole arc of your business kind of depends on this one strategy that I have in mind for you. And fortunately, I've done polls on this. Over 80% of you are planning to do it this way anyway, but I don't want to jump to that because I want to go through some of the pitfalls that you may face based on different types of way you could set that first foot forward on this race. Okay, so I'm going to start off with SaaS only. Here's what I love about SaaS only. Because right now we're pretty much a SaaS-only business, and that's what we've been for 12 years, so I've got a lot of information on this. It's a difficult business to start unless you have fairly good resources, one, or you have a niche that doesn't have a ton of people entering it yet. And the third thing is, if you have a big audience already set aside for some other reason, like maybe you've been cultivating this audience with a blog, so you've got a ton of people who really know, like, and trust you, or you have another product already that you want to kind of add this as an adjunct alongside the other product to add as just another pillar to your SaaS business. Other than that, I just want you to understand, if you go SaaS only, it's going to be an upward climb. It's going to require some resources or just a lot of legwork, a lot of SEO, a lot of blog writing, content writing, and social posting, things like that, to get a ton of traffic so you can have that slow burn as you work your way up. And the reason is there's only so much you can charge for SaaS. Unless you've chosen the perfect niche and the perfect target market to connect that niche with. Like, I've got a guy that's only doing referral campaigns, like viral sweepstakes. I love that. And he's got a very specific niche. I don't want to give it up because I don't know if he wants me to share that. But, it's just like, it's a really good idea to just take a sliver of our product and find a sliver of a target market and just go for it, because you can dominate that marketplace because you've defined it so narrowly. A lot of people look at Hootsuite and they want to be the next Hootsuite. And yes, it's a multi-billion-dollar market that's very exciting. But again, if you don't have the resources, like I named initially as being something you really need to penetrate the market, it's going to be very difficult to buy those terms on the marketplaces. And by that I mean there are ad marketplaces out there like Google. You're going to need to pay if you want to search, or if you want to have your ads posted on Google results. Obviously, you need to buy some Google ads. There's Facebook ads. All of those are based on demand. And if you're buying broad terms like social media management tool, you're going to be paying upwards of $10 for every click-through because you've got people like Hootsuite and Buffer that are also bidding there. But if you're very specific and you're saying, hey, dental practices that want to, post to Twitter, whatever it is, if you want to be very specific, those are very inexpensive still on a lot of the different ad networks. So you need to get either very strategic if you want to do SaaS, or you need to get very resourceful, meaning pull out that wallet because you're going to need to spend some money to invest in some ads to build up enough of that monthly revenue where it's high enough for you to replace that primary income, which is really what I want for all of you. If your goal is not to replace your primary income, this might not even be the right opportunity for you. Like, this is something I really want you to scale. Of course, you can get to a certain point and stop and just let it run in the background. But come on, if you're going to do this, really go for it and make it a goal to replace that primary income so you don't have to retire. You can just sell your business and retire at some point. or just continue to manage it and run it because you built it up to a certain level where now you're comfortable, your income is exceeding all of your day-to-day expenses, along with the college money you're putting away for your kids and stuff like that. And that should be your goal. So anyway, off the soapbox, getting back to SaaS, I hope you understand those limitations. I'm not discouraging you from doing SaaS only, but that should be, and I'm trying not to give away too much of the final thing, that should be your long-term goal, okay? Work your way into SaaS, and we'll get to that in a minute. Second thing I want to talk to you about is hybrid. I'm not even going to talk about services only because I think you should always have a component of your business that is SaaS. Focus your marketing on the service side of your business, but also have a plan that's either on your pricing page or something that you keep in your hip pocket and you only send out to people who cancel your service business because it's too expensive. Because if you've got an agency and people every once in a while are going to leave, it just happens, you want to be able to keep that customer. And the way you do that is say, hey, I've already got all this data and the plan, just keep the dashboard going and I'll do it for $50 a month. Instead of charging you $300 a month, pay me $50 a month. You've got the dashboard there. I'll set up and manage some automations for you. And maybe we do a check-in call every couple months just to make sure it's going okay. That way you keep the relationship alive. So when they can afford $300 again, guess who they're going to call? They're going to call the guy they're paying $50 a month to, and they're going to start scaling up those services again. So I love that strategy. But the reason I'm saying focus your marketing on the service side of this business, the biggest reason I'm saying that is people don't know what to do. There are 92% of businesses, last I checked, are small businesses. There are millions of them, and they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to market, especially on social media. So what you're offering them, whatever you do, even if you do the absolute bare minimum, it's going to be way more than they're doing right now on social media. They might not even have an account. So if you can help them even just set up an account, load up the content that we give you, maybe set up 1 or 2 RSS feeds so they've got some thought leadership coming through with links, not only to those articles, but also to their website, or at least kind of mentioning their Twitter handle. Anything you could do like that to get that exposure, do it. It's going to be way more than they're doing right now, because right now they're probably just focusing on their business. And if you come to them with this offer of $99 a month, or even it's $250 a month, whatever you choose to charge for your basic service just to get them in the door, I think they're going to be very appreciative. There's no agency out there charging less than a couple grand a month. So you're going to be coming in with agency offerings at SaaS pricing, and they're going to love you. They're going to sign up for this, and they're going to stay customers of yours. So that's one of the big reasons. The other reason is just from a marketing standpoint, you're going to have way, way less competition. If you have a SaaS business, there are other SaaS providers doing social media management. But if you go in there and you talk to them about what you can do for them as a service provider, getting content into their feeds and all the benefits that they will get from that without having to lift a finger, you are going to be light year. I mean, the tools aren't even competing with you because they're not going to want to log into a tool necessarily and deal with that and be responsible for that. What they really want is to know that there's somebody who knows what they're doing that is going to be able to manage this tool. They want an expert at using these tools to do it for them. What are they going to do? Get a tool and then hire somebody to run that tool? That's going to be way more expensive than just paying you a few $100 to run a tool that you provide for them at no additional cost, and you're going to manage it for it because you're an expert. Okay, so market the services. Here's the arc I was telling you about that I would really love to see you guys take. Market the services squarely. Don't mention the SaaS component in your ads. Just talk to the marketplace when you're doing your content marketing, when you're doing your blogging. If you're going to go out there on TikTok and record TikToks, yes, do thought leadership TikToks, but when you get to the part where it's a call to action, don't tell them, hey, if you want a tool that does this, go and check out my bio. There's a link to my SaaS app. What they really want to hear is, hey, if you need help doing this, if you don't have time to do these things I'm recommending that you do to grow your accounts, check the link in my bio. I'll do it for you. I've got a team of people who can do it for you, or whatever the situation is. If you want a dedicated expert that knows how to do this, check the link in my bio. That's what they want. People really want experts that actually do it. They've heard all the advice. Trust me, what they really need is to bridge that gap and have somebody actually do it for them, because most people don't. They learn, but they don't do. And that's the critical component that you bring to their marketing world, okay? Take it out of the dreams and hopes and plans and put it into reality, okay? So that's your expertise. So focus on that, but there's a big trend out there in the marketplace. A lot of people are quitting and, looking for an early retirement. And they want to have something where they're not having to work quite so hard. They don't want to swap their minutes for dimes. And what a lot of people are recommending that other people get into is productize your service. I don't know if you've ever heard that or not, but if you're a consultant, if you're an expert, what people are recommending that you do, take that expertise that you have, take that consulting work that you're doing, turn it into a product. Well, guess what? That's exactly what I've already done. So you have the ability right now with the pricing plans that you can create today to create something that is productizing your service. The service is social media management and marketing. And by productizing that, we mean put that into a SaaS automated platform that can do it for them. So the arc that I see for you, focus on the automated agency side, the automated services side, where you're delivering a solution for them instead of delivering a tool. Over the long run, you're going to have so much expertise and you're going to have so many clients that are doing this with you. If you get bored of that and you want to do even less work, it's hard to imagine, but if you want to do even less work than our automated services, then you could fully arc this towards a completely productized service and no longer just slowly start dropping off your higher plans where you do more and more of the work. Like your campaigns, for example, if you no longer want to put those together for people, and it doesn't take that long, but if you don't even want to spend that 1 hour setting up a complete marketing campaign for them, then get rid of that offering. Slowly start removing the higher end, higher service offerings that you have, and start building up your SaaS offerings. So maybe, if you're doing this over the course of 6 months, first couple months, instead of having one SaaS offering for people who can't afford any of your service offerings, now maybe you have only, 2 service offerings and 2 SaaS offerings. And then over, in 3 to 4 months into your transition, you might slowly transition over into only 1 service offering. And then you've got 3 different price points for your SaaS offering. And of course, at the end of 6 months, sorry, goodbye to the services. Now you're only going to do the product. And what you'll be able to do is go to those people that you're doing the work for and tell them, hey, look, I'm retiring, but I'm going to stay involved as an expert in this field, and I'm fully committed to you as a client. I am going to be setting up automations for doing everything I've been doing for you in an automated way. Yes, you're going to pay more than you would pay for just a tool, but that's kind of including the expertise I've built into your automations. And also, you'll be able to check in with me once in a while as needed. I would never set up, if you're trying to get out of this business, don't set up weekly meetings, okay? It's just something that's going to, once again, manage you instead of you managing your business. I don't want your business to own you, okay, and own your time. You should own your time, and your family should own your time. So instead of committing to weekly meetings, monthly check-in meetings, instead what I want you to do is just let them know I am available by email anytime you want, or whatever your preferred method is, either maybe Facebook Messenger. Reach out to me if you need me. Most people won't bother you, but be available to them if they need you, because after all, you are going to charge a premium for that SaaS-only product that you've offered. And the only service at that point that you're going to have to offer is when people reach out to you with questions. And that's a pretty nice, cush way to transition into retirement, even if you're doing it at 30 years old, which a lot of people are doing nowadays. So I hope that gives you some insight. That's the way I see, that if my son were getting into this business today, that's what I would recommend for him. Go hard on the service side, compete on pricing, blow away the other agencies in the area, position yourself as an agency so you're going to appear way, way cheaper, build up a reputation, and then slowly, as you're ready to transition out of having to do that few minutes of setup for each new service client and set up those automations, once you get tired of doing that yourself and you want to push that responsibility onto clients as a SaaS-only product, then you're going to slowly transition into that. Anyway, I've beaten this down to the ground. So if any of you have any questions, let me know. Those are just the thoughts I had on this. And if you've already created or if you've already decided on a path, stay on that path until you have to change. There are people that are going to start with SaaS and crush it because they just happen to have the right network, the right, positioning that they've chosen, the right website, and beautiful design. There's so many factors. So these are all things that I want you to keep in mind, but don't live by them. You know your strengths better than I do. You know your niche better than I do. So I'm speaking in very broad, general terms, and I hope it helps you. Again, just reach out to us if you have any questions. I hope this helps you guys a lot.